Chris Matthews is known for hardball. Oh, man, you know, when it comes to politicians, he knows how to play hardball. I can't help it. I'm going to warm up here with clip number 4 on my list, Towel Snappy. This is an old favorite. Now, we're going to get to his treatment of Hillary Clinton, and we're going to get to why. But I want you to understand how much Chris Matthews sucks up to power. This is for under President Bush. He's talking about President Bush, the guy who's claiming to be a progressive these days. Watch this.
You know, I felt sensitive. I was with him last night, the president. We all went to see the president. You were there, went to see the president for our Christmas. You got to get your picture taken with him. It's like Santa Claus, and he's always very generous and friendly. And I was wearing a red scarf, and I wanted to look a little bit festive for the occasion, look a little preppy. And he came up to me and said, "Look, Matthews, I didn't know you're that preppy." This is the president of the United States after his biggest victory. And he goes, "I didn't know you're that preppy." And I said, "Well, you know, went to Holy Cross, but you guys started with all this stuff. The Yale guys started with all this stuff." And then he started kidding around. I felt like I was too towel snappy with him. I felt he deserves a little, he deserves a lot of respect for this.
That's always wonderfully embarrassing. Okay, now he's about to do the same thing with Hillary Clinton. But before we get to that, I want to show you why that might be the case. Now, Intercept with a terrific article about all the money that Chris Matthews' wife is taking. Now, she's running for Congress, Maryland's 8th District. It's Kathleen Matthews. Now, she's raised a lot of money otherwise. You're going to see here in the numbers. But when she started her campaign, first Chris Matthews came out on air and said, "As a journalist, I also know how important it is to respect certain boundaries on my support for her, both in my public role and here on MSNBC. And while most of you know that our show doesn't typically cover congressional races, I will continue to fully disclose my relationship with her as part of MSNBC's commitment to being transparent and fair in our coverage." Now, let's find out if he did. Using the Federal Election Commission data and hardball transcripts, The Intercept has identified 48 frequent guests of Matthews' program who have made donations to the Kathleen Matthews for Congress campaign. Okay, let's keep going. Maybe he revealed it every time they were on the air. Now, these individuals, their spouses or their political action committees donated $79,000 and $50 on top as well. As of December 31st, 2015, about 5% of the $1.5 million Matthews had raised as of that time. So now, understand, $79,000 is a lot of money, but it is only 5% of her campaign. So she's not just relying on this. She's running her own campaign. She's raised 95% of the money. Otherwise, fair is fair, okay? But this money has come in, and did Chris Matthews, every time he had one of these people on, say, "Hey, wait, I want to tell you, this guy donated to my wife"? Let's find out. Some of the guests made the donations after they were on the show, in some cases long after. Okay, that's also a nice, important caveat. But in at least 11 of these cases, the hardball guests appeared on the program after Kathleen Matthews announced her candidacy and without any disclosure of the donations. And in at least 3 of those cases, the donations came within days of the MSNBC appearance. So apparently, they were not disclosed when they came on air. "Oh, by the way, this guy or this woman donated to my wife's congressional campaign." And sometimes you donate to the campaign and, oh, look at that, you just happen to get booked on hardball. Okay, donors include current Democratic members of Congress like John Larson, who gave $2,000, Claire McCaskill $1,000, and Ed Markey $2,000, for whom Matthews personally endorsed for the Senate back in 2013. Now, I tell you this not as a criticism, because some of those people are perfectly good folks. Ed Markey's a real progressive, and he's in the Senate. And I'm telling you that because what Chris Matthews and others can't see in Washington, that they're in the club. And in the club, that money circulates, and everybody's buddies, and you look out for everybody in the club. And if somebody's trying to intrude into that club, Bernie Sanders, you are not welcome. You are not welcome at all, okay? So now that's the people I don't mind that much. Now let me show you who else gave. They include, these are the donors for Kathleen Matthews and people that also appeared on Chris Matthews' program. They include ex-legislators like former Representatives Martin Frost, Susan Molinari, former Senators Tom Daschle, John Breaux, William Cohen of the Cohen Group, Kent Conrad, and Evan Bayh, all of whom are now corporate lobbyists. Okay, so now you've got this giant conflict of interest. But wait a minute, what does this have to do with Hillary Clinton and Chris Matthews? Okay, well, now we go to the Washington Post. Some of the names on Matthews' donor report, meaning Kathleen Matthews' donor report, read like a class reunion of the Clinton administration figures, most of whom remain active in law, lobbying, or business. They include former Chief of Staff Thomas Mack McLarty and his wife Donna, former White House counsel Jack Quinn, former Commerce Secretary and later Obama Chief of Staff William M. Daley, campaign advisor Mandy Grunwald, former White House Special Counsel Gregory Craig, former Deputy Attorney General Jamie Gorelick and Melanie Verveer, advisor to both President Bill Clinton and First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton. And then the Intercept goes back and explains that a lot of those folks also appeared on Hardball. Okay, now that's a nice little club they got going. Okay, now Move On, who are real liberals, notices this and they start a petition drive. Over 10,000 MoveOn.org members signed a petition to remove Matthews from the air over his perceived pro-Clinton bias. The network has, of course, ignored the request. So now all this is a prelude to, great, Chris Matthews is about to do a town hall with Hillary Clinton. Now, this is his opportunity. Now, if all of this is not true, and he's not looking out for the establishment and the people in the club and that he's towel snappy with, and he's not looking out for the donors who gave to his wife, who also happen to be great friends with the Clintons, well, then he'd be really tough on her. Or maybe moderately tough on her, or just have a fair set of questions. Now, I'm going to give you a sampling of the kind of questions Chris Matthews asked instead.
When you were a young girl in Illinois, somebody was bullying you in the new neighborhood you moved into.
Yeah, that's true.
And you and your mother said, go out and deal with this person physically, and you decked this big bully woman.
Well, you know,
you're going to have to deal with that similar situation if you win the nomination. You have the certificate ready.
I do. I have my birth certificate ready.
You might have to flash it.
Triplicate in case anybody wants.
You might get carded.
Yes.
It'd be nice to be carded.
Nice.
Odd the other day, you said you're not a natural politician, like your husband, who is everybody knows, certified national.
Yeah.
What is the difference between you and him? Forget Trump, Obama, President Obama. What's it? Bill Clinton, I've seen him at a million occasions. He won't leave.
Yeah.
The occasion's over, and you see him. He's working the room.
Yeah.
He doesn't want it to end.
Yeah. You know,
what is that DNA? You talk DNA. What is it in a being that makes him never want to leave the crowd?
You know, when I moved to Fayetteville, Arkansas to teach at the law school, and really it was because I was trying to figure out whether...
How do you say that again? Fayetteville?
Fayetteville. I was trying to figure out whether we were going to get married or not.
Well, we'll come back. It'll get tougher. We'll be back. And when we come back, I am amazed. Maybe I shouldn't say I'm amazed, but I have to say Senator Sanders has pulled some big victories. He won in Iowa. He's won in Michigan.
No, I won in Iowa.
That's right, you did. That'll stay in this show. Why did I think the other? Let's talk about Michigan.
It was very close.
You're getting me in a mood here. Let's go to Michigan.
That's dangerous.
Michigan. So speaking of being tough, are you a hawk?
No, I'm a smart power advocate.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So these are tough, hard choices. That's why I wrote a whole book called Hard Choices about some of this.
It looks like you're ready for the role of commander-in-chief already. Anyway, let's talk about your opponent, the one you have right now in tomorrow's primaries. Bernie's the same as he was 40 years ago. So it's the same approach, same philosophy, democratic socialism, very much comfortable with that, and has never really changed his tune. You're more protean over your lifetime. In fact, I admire it because it's the same route I took. Explain that route, because I think most people are like that. They learn.
I admire it because it's the same route I took. Indeed, Chris, indeed. When we come back, it'll get tougher. No, it won't. I mean, you saw it all for yourself, but I'll just hit the highlights real quick again. Remember when you decked the bully? Has there ever been a bigger softball than that? Oh, you're so tough. And gee, who's a bully on the Republican side? Trump. Oh, if you're in a general election against him, you deck him too. If she wrote the question, she'd be embarrassed at how fawning the question is. She'd be like, nah, we can't have mass that. That's too much, right? And then, Fayetteville, how you say it again? The way she says Fayetteville, it's so great. It's so great. I love her so much. Towel snappy. And you're getting me in a mood. I know, Chris, please don't talk about your moods again. Please, I'm begging you. And finally, it looks like you're ready for the role of commander-in-chief. I mean, it's her, guys. It's her. You should vote for her. She's ready to be for the commander-in-chief. It's like having her campaign spokesperson interview her in a town hall. Embarrassing.